try to answer as many questions that your customers might have through your photos. This will also make them more confident that your product is what they're looking for. Hello everybody, welcome to another video. I'm Rafael from Beazy, and today we're gonna talk about how great product photography can help boost your e-commerce sales. Well, especially after COVID, the number of online shops is growing faster and faster every day. If you think about all the shopping experience that many people had, like physical experience to go in the store, get the product, they couldn't do that anymore. So even like physical shops that already existed started having to migrate to the digital world. So the competition is growing. So what do you need to stand out from your competitors? Well, improving your website and the experience your customers have while shopping online, it's gonna make a big difference in this day and age. And a simple way to make the experience for your customers way better is through great product photography. So let's dive into why product photography can actually increase your conversion rates. So if you think about the experience people have when going to a physical store, they can like get the product in their hands and look like on side, up, in all the corners, and they can decide like, oh, if it looks good, if it feels nice. So you can't have that in an online shop, but you should do everything you can to bring an online experience as close to a physical experience as possible. It's gonna make them more confident that your product is what they're looking for. So even if you have all the information in the description, chances are many people will not even read it. But if you go and get some nice product photography that shows not only in the front, but also on the sides, and then you get some photography that is someone holding, you can give them a more similar experience to the physical shop as possible. So if your competitor has just a front-facing photo and then they go and they look at your website and they can see all these different images and all this experience, they are way more likely to buy from you than your competitor. And other than that, other than just like having nice views of the product and putting it in context, you also create an emotional connection with the customer, because it actually sees like how you're using the product. And like if you put like a morning coffee and a photo of a happy family, it's like you create this connection. This is how I want to be using this product. And well, we all know that people buy with emotion and they justify with reasons, logical reasons. If you can create this emotion connection with your customers, they are way more likely to buy from you than from a competitor that just shows the product. So now we know the power of the photos for our e-commerce shop. Let's dive into 5 tips on how to make great product photography. Tip number 1, have high quality images. Well, this goes back to the creating an experience as close to the physical experience as possible. Because if you think about it, when I have the cup here in my hand, I can really like come close and see all the details on this bird and everything, and then I can decide if it's a well-done design or not. And the only way that you can do that online is having a high quality image that people can zoom in and not lose the quality in the details. And what I mean by high quality images is that you have at least 1,500 pixels, for example, in the shortest edge. So if you have a portrait, you should have at least 1,500 pixels horizontal or width. That will ensure that you have very sharp details. And even if you have a zoom in function, people can actually have this experience of like checking better the details of the product. If you have the budget, you can even do the 360 photos where you take many photos of different angles, and then you put them together where the person can actually just rotate, for example, the mug. So there is a bunch of different techniques, but it all comes down to making it possible for the customers to check the details of your product, and the only way to do it is by having high quality images. Now let's move on to point number 2, which is consider your website performance. Well, this point contradicts a bit the first one, but you have to find the best balance between both, because having really big images means that they are also big in file size, and these people have to download this image to be able to see. If you have a very heavy image, you're gonna have very long page load times. And if your page doesn't load in 2 seconds, doesn't matter how good your photos are, most likely people will not wait, they will just bounce. So having a fast loading page is also very important. Okay, now let's go to tip number 3, which is have a uniform look and style. And what I mean by that, well, if you go to a website and you have let's get clothing for example, and you have many different t-shirts, hoodies, or many different items, and each item is presented in a different way. So you can't really connect the style of the photos with the brand. It will look way more like a marketplace that each one is a different brand. So if your product, especially if your products have a similar kind of vibe, bring this vibe to the photos and make the photos have a specific look and feel to them. And carry this look and feel throughout all the products. And this way, people will look at the photo and they will know it comes, for example, from your brand. Whereas if you have different photos styles in your website, they will not be able to look at the photo and recognize your brand in the photos. And how you can make that? Well, that brings us to point number 4. Hire a professional photographer. If you want keep the look and feel, it's very important to hire actually not only professional photographer, but also professional models or professional creatives in general, because you might need a fashion stylist or a makeup artist. Depending on how big the production is, you need more people. So yeah, hire professional creatives. And why is that? Well, first you're going for high quality images, and then you're looking images that they have the same look and feel. Well, amateurs, they can make great photography itself, but they don't have that experience to bring and create different vibes in different environments and bringing that emotion into the photos. So hiring professional creatives in general will show a better quality product in the end. You will be able to see it. And it's very important, especially when you're trying to recreate a reference style and feel, because to do that you need years of experience of trying different styles and different feels and different ways of editing the photo, and there is so much that goes into it that you will be better off if you hire professional creatives to help you out with that. Now, our last tip for this video, tip number 5, think ahead. And what I mean by think ahead, well, before you even start thinking how the pictures should look like, maybe it's a good idea to go to your website and read feedback from your customers and reviews and everything and see what they are struggling with. Maybe people buy and they don't really like one feature, or they are curious about one specific problem and there is a recurrent question that comes over and over again. Maybe you with photos can already answer that common question that many customers have. So take some time, go to your customers' feedback, the reviews, and see in your other product photos what might be missing that people might misunderstand your product or don't really get how this part or that part works. This depends a lot on what kind of product you're shooting, but yes, try to answer as many questions that your customers might have through your photos, and this will also make them more confident that your product is what they're looking for. So that's what I mean, think ahead is think of what kind of photos do you need before you go and hire someone and start producing the photos. Okay, so those were all the tips I had for you today, and I hope that by now you understand better how powerful and how important product photos are for your e-commerce business. And I hope you can start having ideas and planning your next product photo shoots. And if you need help with that, because I know that can be very overwhelming, because you might have very hard time finding a photographer because you don't know where to find, or maybe you find a lot of options and you don't know how you can make a good decision. The good news is, if you need help finding any kind of creative, we got your back. Beazy is the one-stop shop for content production. Whether you are a big or a small brand, we got your back. With a big community of creatives, a wide range of locations and professional equipment, you have all you need to get your message across. Okay, that's all we had for you guys today. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. It really helps us out with the algorithm. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you get notified for future videos around content production and content marketing. Now we are curious as well. Leave in the comments what is the best example that you saw from product photography, and also show us some bad examples. So let us know as well. Let's have some fun. Not to point out any fingers, but it's good so people can actually see how just having better photos can improve the overall experience. If you have any questions around the topic, you can also leave it in the comments. We're gonna answer all of them if possible, if not as much as possible. And yeah, that's all we had for you today. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.